Republican Senator James Risch sits on the Foreign Relations Committee. So I was just talking about how we seem to be going forward in a certain direction. Talk to me about what needs to get done and what impresses you about what's being done at this point.
Well, you can't help but being impressed with what's going on. This thing's moving at lightning speed the way most diplomatic things move. I've always thought June 12th was aspirational and not necessarily doable. But the important thing is that the people are committed to it. And the other important thing is even though we've had some speed bumps and ups and downs, no one has backed away from the foundations that the parties laid out at the beginning, the objectives. So
it's interesting because you and I have talked in recent weeks, and you never really seem to get very flustered between the I'm going to show up, I'm not going to show up. It's on, it's off. You said it's part of the process. But what really got this going? What in that letter, and the wording of that letter, in your estimation, got North Korea thinking, okay?
Well, you know, I've talked to the president about this personally, and look, there's a lot of stuff out there, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on through back channels and what have you. I don't think it's particularly productive to be analyzing these word by word, sentence by sentence. It's important, and I think everyone needs to give these two people who have strong personalities the space that they need to get together and see if they can't agree on objectives. Look, this can happen. Two things need to happen. Number one, the parties need to have an objective that both parties agree to, and then both parties have to act in good faith to meet that objective. Neither one of those were present in the Iranian agreement, but in this agreement, the president is committed to do that.
Senator Risch, I'm reading through the lines here between them. Let strong personalities be themselves. In other words, just let them kind of work it out and everybody else do their jobs. Here's part of the job that's happening that I want to ask you about. We've got two teams in place. We've got a team from the White House who's going to Singapore, kind of an advanced team. And then you've got that DMZ delegation. What exactly are they doing?
Well, the DMZ delegation is made up of a number of people that are really drilled down on the details. Some of those people have been advisors or employees of the National Security Council through a number of administrations, both Republicans and Democrats. These people know this stuff backwards and forwards. They've been involved in the prior negotiations on this. So they're already starting to talk about details. I suspect when the two leaders get together, they're going to be talking about this more at a 30, 50,000 foot level. The people that are meeting at the DMZ today, I can tell you, are talking about details that are going to need to be hammered out over some period of time. Both parties want to make this happen and happen as quickly as possible.
All right. So the former top spy in North Korea, he led the spy agency, the top guy. Reports he's killed a lot of people. He's coming to the United States, and I guess that's what spies do, right? So the former head for North Korea, what is your take on dealing with this person?
Well, first of all, he is very, very close to Kim Jong-un. So this is a person that Kim Jong-un trusts to go to the United States, to deliver messages, to pick up messages, to find out what the nuances are here. So I think first and foremost, it's a person that's close to Kim Jong-un. And look, it'd be like us sending a former head of the CIA that happened to be particularly close to the president. Obviously, our CIA does not work the same way that the North Korea's does, but they're both intelligence gathering agencies, and with them, among other things.
Yeah, they tend to kill some of their own people. So, yeah, you've got that. It's Japan's role in all of this. I mean, you've got the Japanese leader coming to the White House this week, and we know that the president and Abe have been talking back and forth through this entire thing.
Yeah, really, the president's been talking with all of the with all of our allies in the region, South Korea, Japan, and others. And it's important that we all stay on the same page.
But Japan in particular.
That's how we got to the dance in the first place.
Senator, Japan in particular, what are we looking for them to do in this process?
Well, I don't know if we're looking for them to do anything. What we're looking for is an agreement that we're headed in the right direction as far as the kinds of things that happen in a give and take relationship that we're going to have with North Korea. And obviously we've got to be pulling the wagon together, and that is really, really important. And the same is true here. I've talked to the president, to the vice president, and the secretary of state. All have committed that they're going to do their very best to put this in a form that it can be submitted to the United States Senate as a treaty. That's good for us. It's good for North Korea, because North Korea can then count on the fact that it isn't one of these executive agreements that another president can walk back. It will be, in fact, a treaty, and they're all committed to do their very best to get it in a form that it can be voted on as a treaty.
Real quickly, if it doesn't happen.
Well, look, this was headed for a very, very bad place. I think it's fortunate that the other side recognized that the ending was not going to be a pretty ending, and I think that's what got us to where we are.
Senator Risch, I always enjoy talking with you. Thank you for being on the program.
Harris, nice to talk to you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Let's get a different